welcome back to On Base Live in your Bleacher Report app. I have today, I am your host, Mookie Betts, I'm sorry. And today I have my boy, Cubs outfielder, Ian Happ. And Ian, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
I got a question. I want to. You're a coffee. I've heard you have a strong love for coffee. Where does that come from?
Well, I grew up in a household that everyday coffee, my parents, but they drank like sludge. Like I'm talking dark roast, like gross coffee. What I consider now like gross coffee.
Okay.
But after I got drafted, my brother and I moved to Austin, Texas, and he's 6 years older. And so he had lived in Chicago. He was a little bit more experienced and started making pour-overs in the house and fell in love with coffee. And it was kind of when I first got to the big leagues, that's what I would do. I would go and find a coffee shop and get the best coffee in the city and explore. And so it's been a love and a passion, and was able to invest in a coffee company out of Chicago. And it's been a really fun project.
So isn't there a coffee shop right next to the stadium at Wrigley?
So, yeah, there's a Steingold's, which is like a bagel and like sandwich place.
Is that like your spot that you always go to?
That's our coffee is now in that location. Which is
wow.
really cool.
Okay.
And then the Hotel Zachary, which is right across the street from Wrigley, we're in the Hotel Zachary too.
Nice.
And so our coffee's in the clubhouse, our coffee's in the front office in Chicago. So
do you only drink your coffee?
Not exclusively. Okay. I mean, at home, yeah, like that's what I have on in my condo and do pour over every morning with that. Jameson Tyon makes a mean cup of coffee. And so
really?
He'll bring stuff in the clubhouse from all over. He'll get stuff on the road and make pour overs in the clubhouse. So I try a bunch of stuff. When we go on the road, I try a bunch of different coffee shops, but exclusively at home for me.
So what do you look for what do you consider a good coffee shop?
So like if they're doing pour over, that's like... Yes,
excuse me for my ignorance. What is pour over?
So pour over is you grind. So there's different grinds of the beans, right? So like if you were going to do like a drip coffee, like a normal coffee machine, it would be a little bit of like a finer for the water to run through the actual coffee. But when you do pour over, basically you heat up the water like you're going to make tea, and you grind it to a certain setting, and then you hand pour the water over the beans.
Oh.
So it's almost like a... It's a process, but it's almost like a meditative process where you're sitting there, you're doing it, you're in control of what the coffee is going to be like. So single origin, where the coffee is coming directly from a farmer in a certain country, from like one farm specifically or one plot of land, and then light roast. For me, I like lighter roast, like something that's like kind of fruitier or has a little bit of like a brighter note to it. So we have a really good coffee from Guatemala. There's some really good stuff out of Africa. So we kind of source from different farms all over the world, and it's pretty cool.
That's the most I've ever heard about coffee. So
we'll get you some.
All right, I'm not.
I heard you're not a caffeine guy.
I don't do caffeine, and I don't know why.
You don't need it.
I don't need it. I guess. Yeah,
I respect that.
Thank you, bro. So all right, look. So first things first. We play a game called on base and off base, whether you're in or out.
Okay.
Let me give you a couple topics. Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback in the league.
I'm not a huge football guy. I'm going to be honest with you.
Really?
I don't know that much about football. Do I have a fantasy team? Sure.
Am
I the GM? No.
You don't. Oh, so you're not like a.
I'm not like deep into football.
Really?
But I will say I've been watching a little bit the last couple of years, being a fantasy owner, and he controls the offense well. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes, and maybe 10.
Okay, so he's right around 10. So you're on base. Okay. All right. So what about this? You could go pro in golf.
No, off.
No chance. But you're a scratch golfer, though.
Yeah.
But there's levels.
There's levels for the average human. I'm a good golfer, but what those guys do, no chance.
So what would be the difference? I mean, because a birdie is a birdie.
Yeah, but it's like if you put somebody out playing in front of 50,000 people in Dodger Stadium, it changes. If I went out there and tried to play in a tournament against those guys, no chance.
No chance.
I'd be making a bunch of eights.
Okay. Okay, so where's one of your favorite places to play?
Golf?
Golf.
Man, there's There's a lot
Because if
of
you're
them.
a scratch golfer, you've probably played in a lot of places.
Yeah, I've gotten to play a lot of cool ones around traveling. But I think Oakmont, growing up in Pittsburgh, getting to go to Oakmont is really special. That's top 3 for me.
Nice. Okay, so what about this? Running into the ivy in the wall at Wrigley. It hurts.
Bad. It hurts bad.
What did it stab you or something? What happened?
No, it just brick behind there.
Oh,
it's
is
brick.
it? Okay, the ivy. There it goes right there. Boom.
Yeah,
it hurt.
I mean,
huh?
yeah, that really hurt.
It didn't save you at all.
No, I had 2 of them this year. The first one really messed up my shoulder, and I got some butt on that one, which is nice. A little bit of cushion, but it looks like it's just ivy, but right behind it's brick, and there's no padding. There's no.
You kind of look like the Simpsons meme. You know how?
Yeah.
When Homer he goes back in there. But anyways, okay. What about this? Hitting for the cycle is one of the best accomplishments in baseball.
One of the best.
Okay.
One of the best.
So you're on base on that.
I'm on base on that.
Tell me about. There's a story, when you were a triple away from the cycle. I see the smile. Tell me about it, because I heard about it, but I don't know.
Okay, so
what happened.
So we were playing Pittsburgh. It might have been in 17. It had to be in 17, and my rookie year. We're playing Pittsburgh, and Wrigley is sneaky deep to the corners.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 355 down there, and the wall, the foul wall, right, is so tight to the line. You can't see anything. So I hit a ball, my 4th at bat of the day or 5th at bat of the day, into that corner, and I got it. I hit it pretty good. And the wind out there plays tricks,
Yep.
So it's going right into the corner in left field. I hit lefty. I hit an oppo. And Starling Marte is tracking it down, and I'm just, as soon as I hit it, I'm going.
Oh, because you know it's a hit.
I'm trying. Well, no, I'm just trying to get to third if it falls.
Oh, okay.
And he can catch a ball and kind of nonchalant it and make it look like. Mm-hmm. So he goes all the way into the corner. The crowd can't really see that part of the field, and they're ooh. And I had no idea. I thought it was going to get down, so I'm standing on third base, and he kind of caught it, nonchalanted it, and then tossed it back in. I'm standing on third base hoping I got a triple. He caught the ball, and I'm a rookie, and our third base coach is like, get in the dugout, man.
Were you embarrassed?
A little bit, but I was embarrassed, but at the same time, I was like, I would have had the triple. Like I was legging it out. There's no way I was stopping at second.
Nice. Okay, last one. Wrigley Field is the most iconic stadium.
I'm biased, but I think so.
And why do you feel that way?
I just think the history of the field. They've done such a good job with the restorations of making it still feel like original Wrigley. Mm-hmm. And when you think about the history there, Banks and Santo and Sandberg and Babe Ruth called a shot there. Mm-hmm. Like, you think about the history of that ballpark. When you walk on the field, it has its own kind of aura to it. And just every day, whether it's a Tuesday day game in the middle of the summer, there's 40,000 people there every day. Mm-hmm. It's an electric atmosphere. The 120 starts on Fridays. Like, all of that together, it's a special place.
Nice. I mean, hey, I agree. I do really, really enjoy playing in Wrigley for sure.
What about the last 3 innings when you're playing right field and the sun's right in your face?
Dude, playing outfield just in general in Wrigley, that's probably the only place in the league that I really get kind of nervous, because that wind, man.
The wind-sun combo there can be really challenging.
But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, All right, so getting into this season, you guys had a twist, a turn when you get Craig Counsell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, and you had Rossi, and then you get Craig and 2 former players and all other stuff. Like, how was that change? Because I couldn't imagine like a different perspective coming in, because as a manager, I feel like your manager is kind of like your leader. Like, when you go to war, it's your manager and then it's us. Mm-hmm. Right? And so changing your war leader, like, how was that?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely interesting. It's the 3rd manager I've played for, and so, obviously going from Joe Madden to Rossi was one thing, and Rossi was, we never played together, but he was a friend before he was a manager because of all the guys, because of Dexter and Riz and Lester and all the guys that he played with, and I had spent time with him off the field. So, he's still a great friend. He was awesome. His energy every day was incredible. And played against Counts for so many years, where he's in the Brewers dugout and bringing in guys to face you and getting upset when he's always making the right decisions. So he's been awesome. I mean, he's a pro. He's a genius. The way that he comes to the field every day is consistent, and he's the same exact guy. He knows everybody, talks to everybody. He has a great relationship with the players, and it's been really fun to get to know him and to pick his brain on the baseball side. I've really enjoyed having him as the leader. It's you play across the field from a manager for so long, you think you kind of know them, and then you really get to spend 162 games with them and feel what makes them special, and he's one of the best. I mean, he's been just a joy to get to know.
And being that he played, like you played for I guess all the guys that you played, but having that perspective, because I have Dave Roberts and the guys that played for a long time, their perspective, I feel like their perspective on the game is like, it's crazy, because they have the blend of, and nowadays they have the blend of us, the feeling of us, whether it be hot streaks, whatever, how guys feel, how they've been playing. And then they have the analytics now that they have to balance, and that's really, really hard to do. And so Craig has been awesome at it. I want to hear his
he's great, and he played for a sneaky long time. Yeah, like he played until he was 40. Like
he played for a long time.
He played forever. And we have a good coaching staff too, of guys that Willie Harris and Mike Napoli and guys that played for a long time too. So, and the blend of the analytics is interesting because he's really good at. We don't do a ton of pinch hitting. We similar to where you guys are at, where we have a lot of guys that just roll out there every day and play. We have a pretty consistent lineup. But from the pitching side, the matchup stuff, the analytics, we kind of bounced the close roll around this year and figuring out like the matchup stuff at the end of the game. And he's been really good at that and kind of understanding. When you, like I said, you see it from the other side, and the Brewers bullpens that were so good for so long, and his ability to kind of get the most out of all those guys. And so we've been able to see it here, especially the last 2-3 months from our bullpen, his ability to just find the right pockets for guys. And I'm sure you've seen it over your career, how much it's changed just as far as what.
And personnel back there changes. So when that changes, then that changes the whole dynamic of those pockets that you're talking about.
Yeah, and we've had it where, we've had some guys that started the year with us and go down, and then we've had some young guys come up and be really good and claimed a couple of guys that have been great for us. And the ability for a manager to really understand what makes those guys good in what situations, what they handle really well. And there's a blend of like analytics versus gut of like, yeah, maybe there's one lefty in there that this righty might not match up against, but because Tyson Miller throws from his hip, like it makes it plays. Yeah.
Yep. So, and you've dealt with all this, and you've been playing great. But one thing I do want to talk about that I don't think we've ever really talked about outside of, playing short, but is like outfield defense. And starting off, I'm not saying you weren't good in the outfield, but you have progressively gotten better as you've been playing. And so what do you contribute that to? Or do you think just playing in Wrigley has made you a better outfielder everywhere?
No, I think when I came up, I was playing everywhere, right? It was a different game. It was the National League with no DH.
Okay,
and it was Joe Madden, and we had a really good team. We had, I came up as a second baseman, but we had Addison Russell, playing short every day. And then we had Javi Baez, Ben Zobrist, myself, Tommy LaStella, kind of playing second. And then we had Albert Almora, Jay Hay, Schwarb. Zobrist was bouncing the outfield. John Jay was on that team. So, like, we just had a bunch of guys that could do so many things. So I played all three outfield spots. I played second. I spelled Riz at first once in a while. Played some third. So I was playing 6 positions pretty consistently, where I would bounce in and out. We would double switch. KB would go to Chris Bryant would go to the outfield. Like, we had So I was practicing so many spots and never got great at any of them, but was trying to be big league serviceable at all of them. And so, that was learning from all those guys, trying to get what I could from everybody and figure out how to do that to the best of my ability, because I started games and then, you would double switch to the outfield. I would play second one day, I'd play right the next day. It was, and having Ben Zobrist was amazing. It was amazing to get to learn from him because he had done it for so long, going in and out. And in 21, in 20 and 21, I played some center, but kind of the back half after we traded everybody in at the deadline in 21, I got to play left field for kind of the second half of that season. The whole time, and just really be out there and start to learn that position, start to learn how the ball comes off the bat and where to be and how to position your body and where to make throws. I really struggled early with missing the cutoff man and not being able to make the right throws all the time. And so that back half of the year really let me just settle in at one spot. Yeah. And then in 22, doing it for the first time for a full 162, I think I played 158 games out there and left. And so to be able to just have a full year to really learn the position and take hold of that spot was a difference. And I'm sure that you've experienced, in the last couple of years going in and out, like it's a lot different than just this is where I play and I run out there every day.
Yeah, kudos to the guys that can do it. And I think growing up as a kid, you should be able to do it. Yeah. I think you should be able to play everywhere on the field. And to what happened to you, same thing happened to me. When you get to the big leagues and you settle on if you're an athlete and you settle on one position, I'm not saying it becomes easy, but you can become an elite at it because you know how to move and you know how to play so many other positions and do so many other things. You played other sports growing up?
Not really.
You didn't play other sports growing up?
I didn't play a ton. Like I played a couple years of middle school football. I
How was that? You liked it?
Not my favorite. I mean, I liked it, but like I didn't want to do summer workouts do it in high school. But I played golf. I played golf in high school, and baseball I loved it. I loved it, and I didn't have a desire to do a bunch of other stuff. My jump shot's really gross. You don't want to see it.
You could definitely tell you're an athlete out there that plays baseball. I'm sure if you got out and played flag football and anything else, you'd probably be one of the best at all that.
Did playing infield, like for you in right field, like you're so accurate, you're so good at throwing, you do such a good job when you go to the line of turning and making that throw to second base. Like for me, playing infield for a long time has helped me be able to do that.
Oh, that's why
get rid of the ball really fast.
Oh, that I go. Before I was playing right when I got called up, and I've always been in right. I would always go take ground balls at short, and it was always just to keep my feet active and to throw. And that throw, even though it's not the full, throw from the outfield, just to be able to hit that guy in the chest over and over again. Now when I go to throw from the outfield, I don't think about it. I throw it, and I know it's accurate because I'm so used to throwing from short to first. And so I feel like that's the reason why I do it. It works on your hands. You're taking ground balls and whatnot. So if you can play in the infield, it's a lot easier to go from the infield to the outfield than the outfield back end.
One of the most interesting things that through my career, Jason Hayward, a left-handed rocket launcher of an arm right fielder, Gold Glover, would go in and take ground balls
at third base,
at shortstop, and he would make these plays, and it was never smooth, it was never clean, but
it was just about to throw.
But it was about the throw, and he would make the play, and he would get up and make that throw, and it was something early in my career that I saw and was like, wow, that's really interesting that he does that. But it made him so accurate at what he did in right field.
It's like a method to it. So I want to go back to young Ian. Growing up, you grew up in Pittsburgh.
Grew up in Pittsburgh.
I think you're the first person I've ever met that's grew up in Pittsburgh.
Donnie Kelly, same high school. Donnie Kelly's the bench coach for the Pirates. Donnie played for the Tigers. Same high school. Josh Wilson, who was played for kind of parts of 8 seasons with the Marlins and a bunch of other teams. But
I'm saying me personally.
Yeah, no, those two big leaguers. But I appreciate that I'm the first Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah, just what is it? Are you a Pittsburghian? Pittsburgh
Pittsburgher.
Pittsburgh.
I would call it Pittsburgher. Sometimes they call them Yinzers.
Okay.
You ever hear the Yins, the accent that you get from some of the fans in Pittsburgh?
No.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But Pittsburgh was, I was born in Philly.
Okay.
And when I was 5 or 6, we moved to Pittsburgh. My mom was a professor at Pitt.
Okay.
And so Pittsburgh, I got really lucky. I had a high school coach who played college ball and was so dedicated.
It's cold up there. It's cold. And
it rains a lot.
So
there's
playing
not a lot
baseball,
of sun.
I'm not gonna say it sucked, but it was like the weather was never.
No, not for the high. I mean, we played 20 games in a high school season.
Wow! So playing in Chicago, then it's not even. It's like you grew up doing this.
I hate the cold though.
Oh, okay.
I hate it. Yeah, I mean, we get that April and May can be tough. But it was a great place to grow up, and when you get those really cold days in Chicago, it does remind me of some of the early Pittsburgh days.
So you only play baseball in high school?
Yeah, baseball and golf.
Baseball and golf. Oh, you played golf in high school too?
Yeah, I was on the golf team.
So were you the best golfer on your team?
The last couple years, I was 1 or 2. You do it by like spots, so there's like 6, and so I was 1 or 2. But my golf game was okay, but it was never like good enough to even think about college or anything.
When is the golf season compared?
It was fall in Pittsburgh.
So you were kind of doing both at the same time.
Well, some states it's spring, but in Pittsburgh it was fall. So I would I'd play golf in the fall for.
But you wouldn't be playing fall ball or anything?
I would still, because the high school golf season isn't like the most.
Oh, okay.
It's not like you play 9 holes after school. It's not like you're not like grinding out there.
So which way do you golf, lefty or righty?
Righty.
You golf righty.
I can't even hit it lefty.
You can't even hit it.
Nope.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of, did you switch hit in high school?
I did. Yeah, I started when I was 8. So my brother was 6 years older, and when he was 14, he tried it.
He just tried it.
Yeah,
at 14.
At 14, he was like, we had a hitting coach back then who was a switch hitter, and he tried it and didn't stick with it. But I did. I was 8 years old. I started doing it, and then I would mess around with it. I would practice it a lot, and didn't really do it in games. Just hit righty, and then my freshman year of high school was when I was like full time. I'm doing this every day.
So how did you get good at it enough to have confidence to go in the game?
It was just a lot of practice, and my left-handed swing wasn't great. It was still, there was a lot of issues with it, but I was catching when I was in 8th grade going that summer, and I was catching, and I got thumbed by a ball pretty good, and I couldn't hold the bat righty, so I hit lefty left on left in like a summer ball game, and got a couple hits, and I was like, I think I can do this. So freshman year of high school, didn't look back, and then I had a good hitting coach going into my junior year of high school that really helped me kind of unlock some of the lefty power and really get a little bit more vertical with my bat and figure some things out. And so that like junior year of high school, I started to really hit for power left-handed, and kind of that's when I knew I could kind of do it.
How is it, and I asked Kyle Raleigh the same question, like how is it maintaining 2 swings?
That part's hard. It's hard that you're going to end up getting probably 70-75% of your bats left-handed in a season.
Okay.
Just face so many righties. And so you can go, depending on the division who you're playing, like you can go a week without getting a right-handed at bat. And I think that can be hard. Mm-hmm. That can be, you feel like you haven't seen it. You haven't seen the angle. The right-handed swing can kind of like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm more closed off than I was. Well, you haven't had a bat in a week. Mm-hmm. And so just getting the same amount of reps, I'm super consistent with my routine. I think that's one thing. Playing at Wrigley with a lot of 120 games, like, we don't take BP as much as other teams do. So just the cage routine, making sure that that's dialed so that all I have to do is go do my routine in the cage, and I know I can compete at the big league level. That's something I learned as a young player. And so having that as consistent as possible just helps me feel prepared to go play.
So then you coming up, tell me about some minor league stories, because you're coming up with the Cubs.
Yeah.
And how was the minor leagues with them?
Our system was unbelievable. We had great stops along the way. All of the facilities were great. But it was a really exciting time to be a Cub. It was 2015 when I got drafted. That team, obviously goes to the wild card game and beats Pittsburgh, and the excitement of all those young players. And then, my first full season in professional baseball was 16, and they won the World Series. So it was an exciting time to be in the organization.
Then you came up the next year.
And then I came up in May of 17. And
how was that? Because I'll tell you, when I got called up in 14, and the Red Sox had just won in 13.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, we were terrible in 14. Maybe it was injuries, whatever.
That was when Lester got traded that year.
Yep. Right? And man, it was rough. It was really, really rough going from winning. And I'm not saying you guys were the worst team, but we came in last in the division. So many young guys came up that year, but that was not a great time.
It was a really awesome time because the Cubs just broke that curse. Mm-hmm. To get to experience the back end of that with all those guys. Anthony Rizzo is one of my best friends. 108 years. Yeah, Riz is one of my best friends in the game.
Riz, KB, Hobby. You had
Addison,
guys,
Jay. Everybody came back. So Lackey was still there. Lester, Arrieta, all those dudes. Hendricks, who's obviously still here. So, just going out and going to dinner or going to play golf and seeing people come up to those guys and say thank you. Mm-hmm. Like, thank you for, like, my father is 90 years old. He's been waiting his whole life for this. You guys did it. I just want to thank you for that moment. Like, seeing that was so special. And then getting to play with all those guys. We had such a good – we won the division that year in 17. And getting to experience that with that group. We went to this NLCS. Dodgers really put it to us. But, like, that was just a really special time to be a part of everything that team had done.
And you're still friends with all those guys now? Yeah,
we had a great group and still tight with all those guys, and it was really cool to see Riz come back and Hobby come back this year.
That was I'm sure you really enjoyed that. And I'm sure Wrigley did it right.
Yeah. I mean the fans appreciate and love that so much, and I mean Riz. I just got married in November, and Riz.
Tell me about that, because there was something that happened that Riz, he helped y'all get through it on the buses or whatever it is.
So there's a lights parade in Chicago on Michigan Ave.
Okay.
So it was November, right around Thanksgiving, and the lights parade was going on. So they had Michigan Avenue blocked, and the hotel where we were doing the reception was right off Michigan Ave. Mm-hmm. And so there was a parade, and you couldn't get through. So our wedding planner had told us, like, don't worry, I got it. We got the route, the buses that are taking people from the church to the reception. It's going to be fine. So we get on the bus. We're on the bus for a little longer than you think we should be. Mm-hmm. It's like nobody can get through. So there's like 4 buses. Nobody can get through. Nobody can get to the hotel. So our bus, Rizzo gets off, starts talking to the police officers, and says, hey, so they start moving barriers, and then the other buses, Schwarber got off one of the other buses and was talking to people. We got people walking in tuxes through Michigan Ave through the parade. The police officers are moving barricades, but it makes for a really good story.
That's cool. That's super cool. It's great that you have. It's like you're doing life with these dudes, and like these are your homeboys that.
I mean,
it's a relationship through baseball.
Yeah, you end up spending more time with your teammates than you do your family. Yeah, when you go through this, it's 200 days with the same people, and you love them. Sometimes you hate them, but it is.
Isn't it weird? Like sometimes you say what up to the same guy. This is y'all's relationship. Just is like, what's going on?
Yeah,
what up?
Yeah, I mean, every day you walk into we had a hitting coach a few years ago. He was awesome. He said, I don't need to say hi to you. I see you every day. Yeah. You say hi to you. You see the same people every day. How you doing? And it really is. It's a crazy thing when you go to work with these people and you spend so much time with them every single day for 8 months.
And if you don't say hi to some people, like that you just saw yesterday, it's kind of offended. Like, oh, what's wrong with him? He didn't say hey to me today, So I skipped this part. I do want to go back. You in the Cape. You got to play in the Cape. How was that?
That was, I went to Cincinnati. So we were, when I went to Cincinnati, we were in the Big East, and then we went to the American Conference. There was good baseball there, but Cincinnati isn't some powerhouse school. It's not the ACC. It's not the SEC. It's not somewhere that you're going to get 50 scouts at a game, right? Mm-hmm. So when I was a freshman, you go into college as a freshman, and they give you your summer assignment. And my brother played in college, and I never.
Did he go to Cincy too?
He went to Duquesne in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And so I never when I was going to college, it was never like, hey, I'm going to play in the big leagues. So I was just really excited to be a Division I baseball player, and the Cape had been something that was an aspiration. It was a dream. And so I got a temp contract to go to the Cape. So basically, you go for 2 weeks, and then when the guys from the ACC and the SEC are playing the College World Series come back, see ya.
Oh, okay.
And so I went up on a 2-week contract. I played really well, and I got to stay. And I ended up. I played in Harwich there for an amazing coach and Steve Englert, and I made it to the All-Star game in the Cape that year. I hit a homer lefty and a double righty.
In the same game?
In the same game, in the All-Star game, and that was kind of like when my name got out there, and I was kind of being a first-round pick and was able to go back the next year and do it again. And it changed my life. I mean, that place changed my life. It was a special experience. The people there, the host families, and the exposure. And, I got to go back. I just got into the Hall of Fame there with Stroman.
Yeah, tell me about that. Like, so was that cool?
It was awesome. I mean, it was a pivotal time in my life that second year. My dad was going through brain cancer the second year when I was up there. The family that took care of me and was my support system through that. I can't say enough about how impactful that was as, I'm trying to go through my second summer on the Cape and be a first round pick and
so
the
you went there
challenges of
twice?
that. Yeah. Freshman, sophomore year.
And
then got drafted after my junior.
Oh, so I guess you wouldn't go.
Yeah, you wouldn't go for the third.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then, obviously we talked about the minors and being a part of the Cubs and all the history and whatnot. Like, how is that for you, like wearing that uniform? Because I know when I was a Red Sox and now being a Dodger, it's a blessing to be able to wear these iconic jerseys. Yeah. And Wrigley, like, I mean, it's iconic.
Yeah, I'm pretty grateful to have only played in one place. I through the rest of my deal, it'll be 10 seasons with the Cubs, and the history of the organization. I take so much pride in it. The people that came before us, they do a great job of bringing back the guys that, the Hall of Famers and the guys that made such an impact. Sam Bergeron all the time, Sweet Sling and Billy Williams and Fergie and all those guys. So it's just really cool to get to represent the city. And you go around, whether it's dinner or you're going to play golf, and the amount of people that just love the Cubs. And they're such positive fans. They're always with you. They're always rooting you on, even if you're struggling to, hey, go make the next play. Go. And it's just such a positive atmosphere all the time. And my wife's from Chicago, and so we have great roots there. And it's felt like a blessing to be a Chicago Cub.
So signing your deal, what's the first thing you bought?
Man, condo in Chicago, probably the big thing.
No car, nothing.
No,
you're not a car guy.
I have a nice car that I like, but I didn't need a new one.
I mean, I feel like being from Pittsburgh, there's no way that you're a car guy.
No, not like no. I'm not driving around something that's like crazy.
So did any of your friends because Pittsburgh is like the steel company, still like
Steel City.
Did you ever have dreams and aspirations to run a steel company?
No, it was like coffee company, but not steel company.
Okay. So, and being a part of the Cubs as this rich tradition, you're usually playing in the playoffs, playing for a playoff spot, and now you guys are close, but it's going to take people like you to continue to play well. How is it playing for a playoff contender every year? Because that's a blessing as well. Because there's some people that play this game for 10, 15 years that never play in playoffs.
Yeah, that was one of the things. My rookie year, we won the division, and it felt like at that time, like we were going to just win the division every year. Mm-hmm. And coming up as a 22-year-old, I'm like, we're just going to win the division every year. It's going to be great. And Lackey he said to me when we won the division, we're in St. Louis celebrating, and he said, don't take this for granted. Like, enjoy this experience. You never know when you're going to get back. Mm-hmm. And that's from a guy that went to how many playoffs, right? Yeah. And so, those first couple years winning, being in the playoffs was exceptional. And now, we after 21, it's kind of been that build back to, hey, let's make it back to the playoffs. And we have a good group of guys that have been around, experienced it, played in the playoffs. We came just short last year and in a similar spot this year, but we got to play really well to get there. But, that's the expectation in Chicago, is to be competing for that division every single year.
Yeah, and, being on the side where, like, now we've won division so many times, it's almost like you get numb to it a little bit, but it's refreshing hearing, like, this is not always going to happen. And especially from our fans' perspective, they're spoiled, which we've done a good job spoiling them. So there's they're not wrong for that. But also, like, it really is hard to do. What we've done is really, really hard. And so really hearing that, it's neat knowing, like, man, what we've done is really crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I remember in 17 or 18, we were somewhere in Chicago, and a fan came up and was like, "What's going on with the team? Like, are you guys gonna get it going?" I'm like, "We're in first place in the division by 5 games.
What are you talking about?" Yeah.
But that's just in that time, that was the expectation, was like, yeah, you should be winning the division by 15 games every year. And so it is. And with the new playoff format, it's a little bit different on, getting to the playoffs versus, like, then it was winning the division meant everything. And, having that banner to say that, yeah, we won the Central or the West, and like that, it's a little bit different with the playoff format now, I think, of like how important the winning the division is. But when you go through 162 games and you play for 6 months every single day and you come out as the division winner, like, that is special.
Because that's a grind. Like, that is a full grind. It's a job. I mean, it's a job.
And so much happens through 162. So many guys get hurt. And to be able to make it through that and to say that we won the division, like, that is special.
So before we wrap up, I got a couple more things. We play this game on the show called Guess the Pitcher, and I'm on strike. This is about to be strike 3 with the producers here, because the first 2 times I've ran through them. Like, they're easy. So they say they're gonna stump us today.
Okay.
All right. So it's just gonna be a silhouette of a pitcher, and we gotta name who it is. That's Dylan Cease. Yeah. See, that's the first one though. That's the first one.
All right.
He's probably warming us up. I
was trying to figure out if it was a lefty coming at us or a righty going the other way.
So maybe this is part of the confusing part. I don't know. We'll see.
Ooh.
I don't know who that is.
I'm gonna go Scooble.
Is this Scooble? Yes, let's go. Yes.
I don't think either of us have faced him all that much.
No, I haven't. I've never faced him, so I don't have that silhouette in my brain. Aaron Nola.
Trevor. Oh, that is Nola.
Yeah,
I had a little Trevor Williams there for a second.
No, I've seen that. That silhouette way too many times. That dude, and he's on the show. His hair looks good. I could tell.
Hip shot sinker.
Exactly. Hey, his is nasty.
Nasty. He's one of the guys I don't might have one hit and like 15 at bats off him.
Oh, Seth Lugo.
Yep.
I've seen that one. Man, he had me contemplating life one game. Ooh, man, he was carving me up.
Curveball.
Yeah. Let's see. Is that Mason Miller?
It's too high for Seawald, huh?
Is that Miller?
I haven't seen Miller.
Yep.
Nice job.
Nice job. There we go. I hadn't faced him either, but we saw him on TV so long. He's throwing 104. Speaking of 104, 105, dude, Ben Joyce threw that 105. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like everybody. I don't think anybody cared about the strikeout. It was just about. Let's see who is that? Who is that?
Ooh.
I don't know who that is. Oh, Clase. That's Clase.
Please be it.
Yes.
Yes. You're unbelievable at this.
There we go. That's Clase. I don't know how I got that one. Oh, Shamanaya.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Shamanaya.
I've
seen that one.
Stepping in the dugout.
Yep, I see that silhouette so many times.
I got a new rule. You have to. There's paint 2 lines, so they have to step straight at you.
Yeah,
yep.
I agree.
New rule.
I agree. And if they're going to be throwing 105, they're going to have to back up a little bit.
Yeah, put them at second base.
That's Hunter Green.
You are on it.
Yeah. This is my game.
You're unbelievable.
You just got to build. Like
I helped you with one.
I got 10 years of
seeing these guys.
You know what I'm saying? So I think we got like 2 more. Oh, that's Ben Joyce.
Yeah, that is Joyce.
Yeah, I seen that. That was 100.
That's 106.
106. Nobody cared about the strikeout. It was like everybody was looking like, oh my gosh.
As a righty too, if that thing gets going up and in,
it's over with.
Oof.
It's over with. I'm gonna ask Tommy about that. I didn't get to ask him about it. We got one more, and then I got some fan questions for you.
Showtime.
Imanaga. Yeah, that was 5 seconds.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That wasn't even 5 seconds. That was 1 second.
Yeah.
So
teammates are easy.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me about Imanaga, because my experience with Yoshi and now Sho and seeing these guys day in, day out. Baseball is the exact, like, there's no difference in what we have and what they have in Japan. Like, that baseball is the exact same. They're elite just like we are. They play the game obviously better than him. I mean, Yoshi yesterday was ridiculous. Shohei 50-50 ridiculous. Like, there's the Japanese market for baseball is talented.
Yeah, I mean, we got to have Seiya come over a couple of years ago, and
Seiya, yeah, I forgot about Seiya as well.
And Seiya come over, and his ability is ridiculous. And from year 1 to year 2, he put on some weight. He knew what he had to do to compete at this level, and he had a good first year. Mm-hmm. But seeing what he did the second half of last year and what he's been able to do this year, it's impressive. And then Shota coming over, man, he's been lights out for us. He's taking the ball every day. He's just been fantastic. He keeps developing. Like, he was a fastball splitter, and now the changeup is coming in, curveball, slider. He's got all these pitches and the ability to locate and the work ethic. Like, it's all there. Yeah, and it's been super impressive.
You know one thing that's really, really cool that I've really enjoyed about Sho and Yoshi, and the people that they bring around, they're all super dope people. Yeah, they're just they even when they're playing bad, playing good, during the game, whenever, like, they're just super dope people.
My wife and I went on our honeymoon to Japan last year, and it's an amazing culture, the nicest people ever. Like, it was really cool to see that. And we went to dinner, and Seiya came and hung out for a little bit, and he's a superstar. He's a rock star over there. And I think we're going to open next year in Tokyo, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really
I'm
cool.
curious to see, like, where these guys take us, like, because that's their home. So
that's what I said. I was like, Seiya, Shota, like, where are we going? Yeah. I need a list. I need a whole itinerary from you guys.
That'll be fun. So I got some fan questions before we wrap up, and I want to give you the floor for a minute. Have the Wrigley Pigeons ever gotten in the way of making a catch?
No, not in the way, but I did have. I was playing left a couple years ago, and I did have them, like, waiting for the pitch to get thrown, and bird right in front of me. Poop.
You should have ran
Just
into it.
Just dropped like a foot right in front of my face.
Bro, you should have
I should have
into
caught it.
Yeah, because, you know, my wife, she loves stuff like this. She says if you get pooped on, it's good luck.
Yeah.
So next time, wherever the poop comes,
just jump right in it, dog. Yeah, a little 10 for 15 coming your way.
Hello. All right, okay, so who is your Mount Rushmore of Cincinnati alumni? Baseball players.
Gotta go Euclid, Josh Harrison. Put myself on there. And then Koufax.
And who?
Koufax. Sandy Koufax.
I did not know, and I should know that.
Yeah.
So, does Cincy have like a long list of guys that have made it to the big leagues?
That's the list pretty much.
So,
yeah. A couple other guys that played, Campana, a couple other guys that played and had time, but yeah.
What about this? Outside of pour over, what's your go-to coffee?
Cortado. Cortado is...
Man, you sound so elegant and professional when you talk about coffee. You make me want to try it.
You might be a caffeine guy here pretty soon.
Cortado
is like a cappuccino, but with less milk.
So, and you pour it over?
No, it's more of like an espresso machine. So like an espresso shot, and then you do the steamed milk, and then a little bit of...
In your condo, do you have the one that's connected to the fridge?
No,
or right next to the fridge?
Not in Chicago, but I do. I have in Austin. I got a little espresso machine.
And that you probably put some money into that.
I have like in Austin my setup it's all by, it's not like a machine, it's all by hand.
Okay, so you don't want the machine to do it because you want to do it. Tastes better.
Yeah, I'm a craftsman, you know.
Yeah. Tastes better. So you know what? I'll try coffee next year when we come to Chicago. I'm sure we'll have a day game.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try one of Ian Happ's.
I'll send one over.
Roasts.
Yeah.
Or whatever you.
We'll send you over a little pour over before a day game.
Okay.
Get you all beamed up.
Okay. So one more question. What's the biggest cup snake you've seen in the Wrigley bleachers?
Wow, that's a really good question. I did see one in the height of the cup snakes. I saw one. So you know how in center. And there's two tiers, right? So there's like center field bleachers, and then there's kind of the concourse, and then there's the top bleachers under the scoreboard. So I saw a snake that went from the bottom, and they connected it to the top bleachers.
Oh, wow.
That was crazy. And they were fired up.
I would have been too.
Yeah, it's like the 8th inning, and you hear like, yeah! And turn around, and it's like, oh, there's a cup snake that people are really excited about.
So, okay, so I do want to give you the floor for a minute. I know you have your own podcast. I'm very grateful for you coming on mine, but you have your own podcast. And so I just want you, to talk about what you do, what you and your boys do, so people can come check you out.
Yeah, we had the Compound Podcast, and so we started in 2020. When we got shut down, I had a house out there that I was living in and brought a few guys in. So Nico Horner, Zach Short, and Dakota Mecca. So we started doing the podcast through COVID, and it was an awesome way to connect with Cubs fans like Jake Johnson, Jeff Garland, but also to talk to players and to give kind of the, like you do, hey, this is the player off the field. This is a human. This is their experiences. And then, Nico dropped off after we came back to play, but Zach and Dakota are still doing it with me. And it's been a blast. We're 220-some episodes in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We do it once a week, and it's just been a great way for us to connect with each other once a week, talk about baseball a little bit, share the kind of the inside the clubhouse, just the way that we kind of view and watch the game, and then also get to talk to players about their experience and what kind of who they are away from just the baseball player.
Where can they find you, bro?
We're everywhere. We're on YouTube through John Boy Media at JM Baseball. All the episodes are there. We're on Marquee Sports now, which is the Cubs network, on Thursdays, and then all the podcast platforms. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere.
Nice. All right, bro. Well, you're a vet to this thing, then.
I've been doing it for a little bit.
I can tell by the way you sit up and.
and drink my cortados.
Do you drink pinky up or no?
Nah, pinky down.
Pinky down.
Pinky down. Yeah.
But if I go pinky up,
if you go, I love that.
Oh, you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm weighing on
it. Okay. All right. So Ian, thanks for coming on, bro. Good luck with everything. Not that you need it, but you can definitely tell everything's hard worked. Everything you deserve everything you have, man, and it's just it's really a pleasure to finally get to know you. I mean, we talked, what was it, last year maybe, about this, and so it finally came to fruition, and so keep doing your thing, brother.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir, and we will catch you next time on Base.